if you are a retail investor who is investing in mutual funds every month or every week and you have set up SIPs, this video is for you, because I want to generate awareness about, for the lack of a better word, fraud which is being conducted by these corporate companies, legally of course, which is looting hard earned money from innocent investors. So this is going to be an investor awareness video, and I really feel that this message has to go to as many investors as possible. So let me start from the very beginning. I have been in this market for a very long time. I've been investing for a very long time, and life actually was very easy up until a few years ago. So I used to basically invest through these investing platforms like Zerodha Coin, and basically what I had to do was that I had to just put the money in Zerodha account and set up some SIP orders, and every month on that particular date the system would check whether my Zerodha account had that much of money. If my account had the money, the SIP order would get executed, but if the account did not have any money, the order would just get rejected. But then RBI found some loopholes in the system, and they said, you know what, this is not the right way. If you want to do an SIP, you have to authorize the banks. The money has to be deducted from your bank account, right, directly from the bank account to your mutual fund account. So it is at that point started the concept of mandates. So the way it works is that I logged into my Zerodha Coin account, which is their mutual fund platform, and created mandates. Mandate is nothing but an authorization which I am giving to my bank that, hey, look, every month on this particular date, I am authorizing Zerodha to take X amount of money from my bank account, right? So then I created a few mandates for different types of SIPs that I had. So that is basically a one-time setup, and then once you are done, then every month from that day onwards, the authorization will kick in, money gets debited from a bank account, and it goes to the Zerodha platform where it creates the SIP orders. So in my case, I created 4 mandates, right? So I have 4 different types of mutual funds, 4 different types of categories, for debt funds, for equity funds and all that. So I created 4 mandates, and every month these mandates were getting kicked in and my mutual fund investments were going on. Everything was going fine up until last week. Last week, for the first time, I saw a charge, an unusual charge of over 6,400 rupees appear on my Axis Bank account, and the description of the charge was ECS return charges including GST. Now, I had never seen the charge ever, so I clearly did not know what that was all about. So what I did was I called the Axis Bank customer care, and then I asked them, okay, what exactly is going on? What is this charge all about? So they explained me that these charges were levied on me because my account did not have enough balance for the transactions that I have scheduled from Zerodha, right? So basically I have 4 SIPs that I have scheduled at different time of the month, and each time Zerodha attempted to withdraw the money and the account did not have enough balance, the transaction got declined, and because of that there was a charge which was levied on me, and that's basically why I have been charged 6,400 rupees. Now I don't know about you, but I usually have never seen such high charges, right? So for me, if a transaction is declined, first of all, if it's a transaction declined, then why are you charging me for that, right? I mean, it kind of doesn't make any sense. If you go to a mall, if you are swiping your credit card, it doesn't work, it's okay, like it didn't work, right? So charging itself kind of didn't make any sense to me, but then again I said that's fine, maybe even if you are charging, maybe it's just going to be a few $100, right? Why are you charging 6,000 rupees for this? And then the customer care representative went ahead and explained me that every time a transaction is declined, you have to pay 550 rupees for that failed transaction. But even that didn't add up, because I have 4 SIPs, and for each of those SIPs I was charged, let's say 500 rupees or something. My total penalty should come to somewhere around 2,000 rupees. So why am I paying 6,400 rupees? And that is when I got to know something which did not settle well with me, and that's the reason why I am making this video. So they explained me that every time an attempt has been made by the authorized party, and every time the transaction is declined, we will charge you 550 rupees for that. So in this particular case, for every SIP that I have scheduled, Zerodha attempted more than 3 or 4 times, and all of them of course got declined, because on the same particular day if you are trying multiple times, of course there was no money. Suddenly the money will not appear, right? So basically what happened was that every SIP was attempted 4 times, around 4 times, and for every time the transaction got declined, I was charged 550 rupees for that, and hence the humongous amount of 6,000 rupees or so. So the question then came to my mind is that, look, I did not authorize Zerodha to retry this thing like 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, right? I did not authorize Axis Bank to let Zerodha try these, whatever number of times they did. So why am I being charged for these extra attempts that Zerodha has made? Number one. Number two, if instead of let's say 4 times or 5 times, Zerodha had tried 100 times, it's possible, right? Everything is done through APIs nowadays. You can have like 100 pings done to the server. If you wanted to do it, you can do it 100 times. So does that mean that I will have to pay 50,000 rupees because Zerodha tried like 100 times? So that is a gray area, and I would say that this is the area which banks have used for manipulating retail investors, right? Because we, while creating the mandate, are never told that we will be making multiple attempts, and for every failed attempt your bank is likely to be charging 500 rupees or so, right? And banks of course are not going to tell us anything, right? They are always known for their these shady tactics. So anyway, normally I'm a very pretty laid back kind of a guy, but I said, this is not good. I have to do something about it. So I went to RBI's website and I raised a complaint. Actually, this is this week itself, like a couple of days back. I raised a complaint to RBI that, look, this financial institution has conducted some transactions which I do not approve of. And luckily, immediately after I raised the concern, I got a call back from the bank, from Axis Bank. And the customer representative explained me that, look, this is very normal, this is nothing new. We treat every such transaction as a bounce check. Now, this is a very interesting thing. So, if you are treating every SIP investment as a bounce check, and you are charging me the same amount as you charge for a bounce check, which is in this case around 500 rupees, it's a problem. Because when I give a check to somebody, I'm basically committing to pay them a certain amount, which of course if I'm not paying, then I should be levied some penalty. But in this particular case, I'm not paying to anybody else. This is an SIP for my own investment. So this basically money is going from one of my bank accounts to one of my investment accounts, right? So you cannot be charging me first of all this high and treating this as a bounce check. It's not a bounce check, right? Let's just be clear, but it's not a bounce check. It's just a transaction which did not happen because funds were insufficient, and then you just charge whatever you want to charge for that. But don't charge me for these recurring attempts that the other party has made. So, they escalated the request, and just today I got a call back from Axis Bank saying that they will be reverting these charges. And of course they said, this is only for the first time, we will not be doing this the next time. Of course, now that I'm aware of it, I will make sure that I have enough funds in the bank account, and I will definitely not fall into that situation. By the way, I've been doing this for several years. This is the first time it has happened to me. So it's not like I knew about these things. Now this story is all fine, but what is the point of making a video, right? Number one thing is, guys, very obvious that banks are going to charge you arm and a leg in case you don't have enough funds in your account. So please make sure, even create some reminders that you have enough funds before the scheduled date of your SIP transaction. That's number one. Second thing is, I want to raise awareness among retail investors, and if somebody who is watching is influential enough to maybe do something about it, is that this culture of charging this kind of heavy penalty. See, 6,000 rupees is not a big deal for me. It's fine. I think it's okay. It's okay. It's not going to create a dent in my thing. But for somebody who is investing on a regular basis, let's say 10,000 rupees or 15,000 rupees, if you are charging them 3,000, 4,000 rupees, basically you are stealing the money which that person was supposed to be investing for their own future under the garb of penalty, right? And that to me is unethical business practice. It's really an unethical business practice. And banks, of course, are always known for doing something like this, but I think this is going to cause serious trouble for retail investors, because 2 or 3 times you see something like this happening to you, you will be scared to do any kind of SIP, right? Because see, not everybody has discipline to keep X amount of money every month before a certain date, so that they don't miss out on the SIP. These things happen. And if you are charging them, not only charging them for not having the money, but for the recurring attempts, and they will of course get discouraged. They will of course say, what, this is not for me. I'm not making any money, but I'm actually losing a lot more money. So they will be prone to do more of a discretionary investing than a systematic investment, which I think is the biggest loss in this equation. And that's the reason I'm making this video, that if somebody who's watching this video who is influential enough in the financial circle, I want you to raise awareness about this, that banks should not be charging this heavy of a penalty for SIP purposes. Do not treat SIP investments as bounce checks, right? The money is not going to somebody else. The money is basically going to the investor's own account. So basically that's the reason I made this video, guys, to raise awareness about this issue. I will also appeal to Zerodha and similar mutual fund platform that please, if you are going to make multiple attempts for these SIPs, make it explicitly clear on your mutual fund screen at the time of making this mandate that we make several attempts and your bank is going to charge you whatever, around 500 rupees every time. So please make sure that you have enough funds, because currently there is nothing, right? There is no awareness. Everything is in the fine print and everything is in the black box. So please do something about it, so that the retail investors are not losing their hard-earned money for this something which is so basic, which by the way should not even be charged any penalty, and people are losing their hard-earned money for it. So that's it, guys. That's basically what I wanted to talk about. If you can share this video with more of your friends and in your circle, it will be really great. I really want to generate awareness about this issue. Again, as I said, they reverted me the money, I got the money back. It's not like I need the money again, and in absolute amount also the money is not high for me, but I got lucky, right? I got the money back. You may not be as lucky. Even if you call back, even if you raise a concern, they may decide not to refund you the money. So please make sure that you don't fall into this trap, and just share it with as many people as possible. Thank you.